Now, today we'll have a lesson which is in 1C, and the lesson's name is very inspiring name the lesson has. It is called I Will Do It. I Will Do It. It's very inspiring and very beautifully written. I'm going to keep the author of the lesson a suspense. I'm not going to tell you who the author is. There's a reason for it. When you come to the end, you will understand why I'm not going to tell you who the author is. So let's just straight start the lesson. Lesson about achievement, about success, about how life has to be lived. Very inspiring story. He was short. He was sharp. He was the brightest boy in his class. His seniors used to ask him to solve their difficulties in science. He could have gone unnoticed in a crowd, but once you asked him a question related to physics or maths, there was a spark in his eyes. There was a spark in his eyes. He could grasp theories of science faster than the speed of light. How beautifully she has expressed it. He could grasp theories of science faster than the speed of light. He came from a poor but educated family. His father was a high school teacher and an avid reader of English literature. Avid, A-V-I-D. Avid means very passionate, very, very involved when you do something. Avid. He, like all the boys in his class, was trying to get admission into some engineering college. The brighter ones wanted to study in the Indian Institutes of Technology or the IITs. So in India, you have IITs, which are the top engineering colleges in India. There was an entrance test for IIT. This boy, along with his friends, applied to appear for the test. They did not have any special books or coaching. All these IIT aspirants, 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 someone who is trying to aspiring for something, someone who wants something. All these IIT aspirants would sit below the shade of a stone mandap. Mandap is an Indian word, mandap, close to Chamundi Hills in the sleepy town of Mysore. He was a guide for the others, so he was teaching everybody. While the others struggled to solve the problems in the question paper, he would smile shyly and solve them in no time. He sat alone below a tree and dreamt of studying at IIT. It was the ultimate aim for any bright boy at that age, as it is still today. He was then only 16 years old. So this young, sensitive boy, a bright boy, was only 16 years old. D-Day came. D-Day here means the main day, the important day came. He came to Bangalore, stayed with some relatives, and appeared for the entrance test. He did very well, but would only say okay when asked. It was the opposite when it came to food. When he said okay, it implied bad. When he said good, it implied okay. When he said excellent, it implied good. His principle was never to hurt anyone. So if the food is bad, he would say okay. And if the food was okay, he would say good. And if the food was good, he would say excellent. The IIT entrance results came. He had passed with a high rank. So obviously he got a high rank. What a delight for any student. He was thrilled. He went to his father, who was reading a newspaper. Anna, I have passed the exam. In India, they call him Anna in Karnataka, the state of Karnataka in India. Anna, I have passed the exam. Well done, my boy. I want to join IIT. His father stopped reading the paper. He lifted his head, looked at the boy, and said with a heavy voice, my son, you are a bright boy. You know our financial position. I have 5 daughters to be married off and 3 sons to educate. I'm a salaried person. I cannot afford your expenses at IIT. You can stay in Mysore and study as much as you want. Indeed, it was a difficult situation for any father to say no to his bright son. So you can imagine how much pain there was. He got an admission into IIT, the top college in India, and his father was not able to send him because of lack of money. But circumstances were like that. It was common then for the man to be the single earning member with a large family dependent on him. His father was sad that he had to tell the bitter truth to his son, very bitter. But it could not be helped. It could not be helped. That is, you cannot do otherwise. The boy had to understand reality. The teenager was disappointed. Obviously, at such a young age, he had got into IIT. That was his dream. He was disappointed. It seemed to him his dreams had burnt to ashes. He was so near to fulfilling his fondest hope. Fondest. He was so eager, fond. I was fond. I like. He wanted to go to IIT. But he was so near to fulfilling his fondest hope, yet so far. You know, his heart sank in sorrow. He did not reply. He never shared his unhappiness or helplessness with anybody. He was an introvert by nature. He was an introvert by nature. You know, he used to keep himself. People are introverted or extroverted. Extroverted people tell everybody everything. But this a boy was introverted by nature. He would not tell anything to anybody, especially his pain and unhappiness. His heart was bleeding, but he did not get angry with anybody. The day came. His classmates were leaving for Madras. Now it's called Chennai. They were taking a train from Mysore to Madras. So they were just taking the train. The boys who had got the rank, actually because of his help, they have shared good years in school and college together. He went to the station to say goodbye and good luck to them for their future life. At the station, his friends were already there. They were excited and talking loudly. The noise was like the chirping of birds. They were all excited and discussing their new hostels, new courses, etc. He was not part of it. So he stood there silently. One of them noticed and said, "You should have made it." He did not reply. He only wished all of them. They waved at him as the train slowly left the platform. He stood there, even after he could no longer see the train or the waving hands. So he just stood there. He went on seeing, the train was going, and he saw it till he could no longer see the train or the waving hands. It was the June of 1962 in Mysore city. Monsoon had set in and it was getting dark. Monsoon, the rainy season. Monsoon had set in and it was getting dark. It had started to drizzle. Drizzle, Drizzle. Slowly the rain came. Yet he stood there motionless. He stood there silently. He said to himself, without anger or jealousy, he was not jealous, he was not angry. He said to himself, all students from the IITs study well and do big things in life. But it is not the institution. Ultimately, it is you and you alone who can change your life by hard work. He just told like a prayer to himself. It's a beautiful sentence. All students from the IIT study well and do big things in life. But it is not the institution. Ultimately, it is you and you alone who can change your life by hard work. Probably, he was not aware that he was following the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, there's a quotation. That quotation follows now. Your best friend is yourself, and your worst enemy is yourself. It's a wonderful quotation from Bhagavad Gita. Your best friend is yourself, and your worst enemy is yourself. Later, he worked very hard and focused on one thing, never bothering about his personal life or comforts. He shared his wealth with others. So later, he worked very hard and focused on one thing only, never bothering about his personal life or comforts. He shared his wealth with others. He never used the help of any caste, community, or political connections to go up in life. A son of a school teacher showed other Indians it was possible to earn wealth, legally and ethically. He built a team of people who were equally good. So he built a great team. Who was this man? He became a pioneer of India's software industry and started the information technology wave. Today, he has become an icon. 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 Icon means someone who has become a legend. Someone who has become so great, a hero. An icon. Someone who is a role model for others. Today, he has become an icon of simplicity, uncompromising quality. Uncompromising. He will not compromise on quality and fairness. Apart from being a philanthropist means helping, charity work. He really believes in the motto powered by intellect and driven by values. Powered by intellect, by the mind, and driven by moral values. I think many of you students have already guessed who this man is. He is none other than Nagavara Ramarao Narayana Murthy, the founder of Infosys, a leading IT company in the world. What a beautiful way of stating a story. She never, this is written by Sudha Murthy, the wife of Narayana Murthy, and how beautifully, what a lovely way of, and so understated, so beautifully expressed about her own husband. How much love is there, how much clarity is there, how much beauty is there in the way a wife has written about her husband, and with such, I would say, heartbreaking gentleness, clarity, and simplicity. Okay, so this was Narayan Murthy's story. So now you understand why I didn't tell you who has written it. This was written by Sudha Murthy, who is equally a great woman. She had come to my city actually, and I had met her, and I thought she was one of the most simplest, most beautiful women I had met in my life. Okay, so this is a story by one of very, very great women who is doing extraordinary charity work called Infosys Foundation, and she's a very popular author, writer, and she writes lovely stories. She has written this story about her own husband, and I hope you enjoyed the story. This is more than just a lesson, it's a lesson for life. Okay, thank you so much. Here is NRK Academy signing out now. We'll meet again with the next lesson. Thank you so much.